Hi guys, I think the Tories and their friends in the media have really handled the farmers' anger over inheritance tax really badly. The loudest voices haven't helped the farmers either. We had billionaire James Dyson complaining, and we also had multimillionaire celebrity Jeremy Clarkson leading the charge. Not exactly people who draw sympathy from the public. Also, I think it'll be difficult for farmers, many of whom voted for Brexit, to convince members of the public to feel sorry for them now. But a bandwagon is building, and it involves journalists doing bad journalism, like this example from Kay Burley.
So they're wasting their time?
Well, they're absolutely got the right to come and protest, and they're clearly...
But they're not going to change your mind?
Well,
I think
elective
mind.
The Chancellor is having to make difficult decisions, and she set those out in the budget on the 30th of October.
Even though you previously promised before you were elected that you wouldn't do this?
I'm not sure we particularly set out a promise around this issue.
You did.
Well, that's not my understanding.
Well, you did.
OK, well, it's not my understanding. And
so you broke your promise?
I think the Chancellor's been very clear that she is not breaking promises that she made in the manifesto.
But you promised before the election that you wouldn't do this, specifically this. Steve Reid promised actually last December that you wouldn't do this, and you have. So you've broken your promise.
Well, I don't accept that.
OK.
Oh my goodness, this is terrible. So, look, I did a bit of digging and I found this article from Farmers Guardian. And it says here, but back in December 2023, the then Shadow DEFRA Secretary Steve Reid told the NFU, the National Farmers Union, the Labour Party had no plans to change inheritance tax. No plans. Those are the key words here. No plans. No plans, Kay Burley knows, is different to promising not to do something. That's all she has. You know, the former DEFRA secretary, he was a shadow DEFRA secretary at the time. The former shadow DEFRA secretary told a newspaper that Labour had no plans to change inheritance tax. But even he couldn't have made that decision. He couldn't have made a decision on inheritance tax because it would be the Chancellor. So you'd have to interview Rachel Reeves instead and ask her back in December 2023, do you have any plans to increase inheritance tax? And her response would probably be the same. We have no plans, which means we don't know yet. Once again, no plans is very different to we're not going to do it. Now, it seems the media just want to whip up anger. They've been interviewing farmers who are multimillionaires, interviewing Jeremy Clarkson, people like that. Not exactly wonderful standard bearers. And I think, this protest is not really going to garner a lot of support from the public. You're going to see a lot of support online, but the general public are going to be watching, very expensive tractors drive around London complaining about inheritance tax. Inheritance tax. There are people who are, and I'm not saying that there are farmers not struggling. There are a lot of farmers struggling at the moment. Some of them are probably going to have to either sell up or they're going to have to diversify. I'm not saying that farmers are not struggling, but members of the public who are struggling as well are going to look at very expensive tractors arriving into their town or their city and be asking the question, are these people struggling? We're supposed to have sympathy for these people over an issue of an inheritance tax? So I think Labour believe or understand they can ride this wave, they can ride this out, they can weather this storm, because the people who are leading the charge are not struggling. That's the problem for the protest, I think. And while the media may try to whip up as much anger as possible, it will be gone, in a week's time probably. And then move on to the next bandwagon. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.